best in programming from two great networks. This is 8 Country Television, KGNS-TV, Channel 8, Laredo.
From 8 Country Television, this is Pro 8 News.
Good evening, I'm Mike Widener sitting in tonight for Jim Chase. In the news tonight, the State Department is keeping a close eye.
Laredo's Pro 8 News Update.
Coming up at 10 on Pro 8 News, city budget talks, Laredo and show.
This is Pro 8 News.
Good evening, everyone. What if they're right about the Y2K bug and the hysteria you just saw in the movie became a reality? Well, Audra joins us now with more.
We're covering all of 8 Country. Straight ahead on Pro 8 News at 6, the man accused of sending a judge a sexually explicit letter could face another decade in prison. Plus, the war of words continues between the two gubernatorial candidates over their advertising strategies. And why did some downtown commuters hear some strange bird calls this morning? The news is next.
Pro 8 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, and thank you for choosing Laredo's top-rated newscast. I'm Audra Schrader.
And I'm Tim Gutierrez. A man behind bars may have gotten himself into a tire store.
Plus, there's more bad news tonight for air travelers.
We're covering all of 8 Country, including Los Dos Laredos, Mirando City, and Asherton.
You're watching Pro 8 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Pro 8 News continues with Tim Gutierrez and Audra Schrader.
Covering Texas tonight, a record driver now faces...
Pro 8 News continues with Chief Meteorologist Richard Heatwave Burler, who has the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society.
Good evening. I'm looking at heat to date tonight.
Pro 8 Sports continues with Tim Sear.
Good evening, everybody. The Techos are busy at La Junta Park right about now as I speak for the first time.
From KGNS-TV, with coverage you can count on. This is Pro 8 News at noon.
Coming up in your first look at...
From KGNS-TV, with coverage you can count on. This is Pro 8 News at 10.
And after the Bucks vacated the ice, it was the junior Bucks' turn. Last night, the juniors took on the veteran Wild Hogs in an...
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at 5.
Good evening and thanks for...
With everything you need to start your day, this is KGNS News Today.
Will appear as self...
With everything you need to start your day, this is KGNS News Today.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Laredo's only local morning newscast. It's KGNS News Today. I'm Elizabeth Milner.
And I'm Max Fernand. Today is my favorite day of the week, Friday,
yes.
August 23rd. I'm so glad it's here.
It's the best day of the week, right?
And the best news is that even though temperatures are going to be a little bit warm today.
With everything you need to start your day, this is KGNS News Today.
The Coast Guard is warning boaters in Florida that part of the Roosevelt Bridge is in imminent danger of collapse. Coming up on KGNS News at noon, tensions are already heightened between the president and several heads of state as they discuss and check out the options between trade, Iran, and other issues. We'll see if the G7 summit makes a difference.
And Mother Nature seems to be changing her mind these days as those triple digits look like they will continue for us into next week. More details in our weather forecast. KGNS News at noon starts now.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for watching KGNS News at noon. I'm Max Fernandez. President Trump turns his focus.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Early Edition.
Happening right now was a bad day for investors and the economy as the stock market suffers one of the largest single-day drops, falling nearly 700 points. China.
And this is a calling for me, and it should be a calling for all of us to go help our people in Houston.
Coming up on KGNS News, a group of Laredo police officers answer the call of duty as they head out to help the people of Houston.
Plus, due to refinery closures in the state, gas prices are on the way up. And residents living near the Old Mercy Hospital are concerned about another fire that happened over the weekend. KGNS News starts now.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Evening Edition.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in to KGNS News. I'm Ann Hutera. No relief for Southeast Texas while Louisiana now braces.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at 10.
In the news tonight, school safety continues to be a hot button topic, even with the city of Laredo.
That's right. KGNS News reporter Brenda.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at 10.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to KGNS News at 10. I'm Mindy Caso.
With everything you need to start your day, this is KGNS News Today.
Well, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to KGNS News Today. I'm Max Fernandez.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for watching KGNS News at noon. I'm Ruben Villarreal in for Max Fernandez. As the city continues.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Early Edition.
Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to the KGNS News Early Edition. I'm Ruben Villarreal in for Jerry Garza. It started out as a gray and drizzly.
You can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Evening Edition.
Good evening, and thank you for watching KGNS News. I'm Ruben Villarreal, sitting in for the birthday girl, Mindy Caso. And if you've looked out your window today or...
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for watching KGNS News at 10. I'm Jerry Garza. Mindy has the night off. Well, while alleged killer and former Customs and Border...
Good evening. We're starting off with a live look with the KGNS Skycam over at I-35 and Del Mar Boulevard, where our previous studio was. The evening commute is moving along smoothly. Some of the roads are looking slick and wet, so we are hoping people are careful while driving. KGNS News starts now.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Early Edition.
Good evening, I'm Liseli Garza. It's been a chilly and rainy day to end our week.
Coverage you can count on from your good neighbor station. This is KGNS News Late Edition.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in. I'm Liseli Garza. Welcome to our news set. We are broadcasting our first newscast from our brand new studio off of Loop 20.